What were the effects of the Gramm-Rudman-Hollings Act? Have you ever wondered how legislation can shape a nation's fiscal policy? The Gramm-Rudman-Hollings Act, officially known as the Balanced Budget and Emergency Deficit Control Act of 1985, aimed to tackle the federal budget deficit in a bold way. This act introduced strict spending limits and represented a conservative approach to fiscal policy. It focused on spending restraint instead of increasing taxes, aligning with the principles of limited government and free market economics. One of the key effects of this act was the establishment of deficit ceilings. Starting with the fiscal year of 1986, it set maximum allowable deficit levels. The goal was to gradually reduce these deficits to achieve a balanced budget by 1991. If Congress failed to meet these targets, automatic spending cuts, known as sequestration, would kick in. This mechanism was designed to enforce fiscal discipline by legally restricting deficit spending. Lawmakers were compelled to prioritize spending reductions to avoid these automatic cuts. From a Republican viewpoint, this act was a win because it addressed the deficit by controlling government spending rather than raising taxes. This approach resonated with conservative beliefs that reducing government size and spending was the right way to restore fiscal balance without burdening taxpayers. However, the act faced political and practical challenges. Many legislators were hesitant to cut popular programs. Some essential defense and social programs were at risk due to the automatic cuts. Even supporters of the act had concerns about how effective it would be in practice. The act passed quickly, which led to uncertainty about its implementation. While the Gramm-Rudman-Hollings Act succeeded in putting deficit reduction on the agenda, it did not fully achieve its goal of balancing the budget by 1991. The automatic cuts were sometimes viewed as blunt tools that could harm essential government functions. Legal challenges and political compromises weakened its enforcement. Nonetheless, it marked an important step toward a more structured approach to fiscal responsibility. The act also influenced future fiscal policy by setting a precedent for using statutory deficit targets and enforcement mechanisms. It reinforced the Republican belief that controlling government spending is vital for fiscal health and economic growth. The call for a balanced budget amendment, supported by President Ronald Reagan and many Republicans, was part of the broader movement inspired by this act. In summary, the Gramm-Rudman-Hollings Act introduced mandatory deficit reduction targets and automatic spending cuts to enforce fiscal discipline. It reflected conservative priorities by focusing on spending restraint rather than tax increases. Although it faced challenges and did not completely eliminate the deficit, it played a key role in shaping the discussion on government spending and budget control from a Republican perspective.